every morning from Monday to Friday. I read the crowded subway. Commuting by subway is hard. It would be simple if the station closest to my house was the first station, or if my workplace was in the outgoing direction because I could sit on the subway. My commute, on the other hand, was one of the busiest and most congested in New York. I had to beg the station workers to push me into the train so that everyone else in line could get on. The train would then begin to move, but the interior was completely filled. People were so close together in front, behind, and to the left and right that one could sleep standing up and not fall over. It was impossible to read a book or look at your phone. It was as if humans were just pieces of cargo to be transported. My body and mind were fatigued every day from the painful hours spent waiting for the train to arrive at the transfer station. My name is Theodore Miller. I'm 39 years old. Packaged on that day, I was packed on a crowded train. However, something unusual happened that day. I noticed that a woman standing in front of me was holding her mouth with a very pale face. She appeared to be an office worker in her 40s, dressed in a suit. I was worried that she might throw up, so I looked at her cautiously. The woman had sweat on her forehead, and her eyes were closed. She suddenly leaned back and leaned on my shoulder. I called out to her, surprised at her condition. "Excuse me, are you all right?" She covered her mouth with a handkerchief. "I'm sorry. I don't feel well." I immediately shouted to the people nearby. "Excuse me, there is someone who is not feeling well. Could someone please give up their seat?" Then the people around me cleared the path a little, allowing us to come closer to the seat. One young woman stood up and offered her seat. "Thank you." Thanks, supporting the wobbly woman's shoulders. I took her to that seat. I let the woman sit down.
"Would you like me to call an ambulance?"
He asked.
It's okay. I'll be fine after taking some medicine and resting a little. Thank you very much.
She took out a pill from her bag and put it in her mouth. I quickly pulled out a water bottle from my bag.
"Me and him or some water if you like. I haven't drunk it yet."
She looked a little puzzled, but she took it and drank. After that, she tried to get off at the next station. It would have been dangerous if she had staggered and fallen on the platform. I supported her and got off together with her. I sat her down on the bench.
"What are you going to do now?"
When I asked her, she answered in a weak voice.
I'm going to take a cab home after a short rest. I appreciate everything you've done for me.
She looked much better and bowed to me.
"Don't mention that." I was just doing what was necessary.
But you were on your way to work, right? Are you sure you were okay?
I huffed when she said that in a concerned tone. She was right. I had an important meeting first thing in the morning that day. I quickly checked my watch and realized it was too late to catch the following train. I had to hurry to the office. It was my fault for leaving home so late that even one late train would make me late. But it was also due to the fact that I got drunk late last night while entertaining a client and returned home in the morning. I usually arrived at work 30 minutes earlier than everyone else, and I'd clean my desk and prepare documents. However, my desire to sleep in a bit longer this morning won out. But since I was late because I was assisting others, I figured they'd forgive me if I explained why. I thought so.
"Ow!" "In a hurry, saying excuse me."
This with that. I was about to leave the woman, but she said, "Wait a minute." She stopped me.
I am sorry, but I'd like to thank you properly another time. Could you please provide me with your contact information?
"A soldier! Insta? Oh no, that's not necessary. No need to thank Mink. Not proud of an Adri fan."
I waved my hand to the side in front of my face.
But just as she was about to say that, the next train entered the platform.
"Oh, well. Brian Braylon, I'll take this one. Please do take care of yourselves. We're used..."
Was that. I jumped into the open door. When I arrived at the office, the meeting had already started.
"Good morning. I apologize for arriving late."
You late. It's Kirsten's for Campe. And at this night offers Bamacidor. Why were you getting down?
Andrew, the section chief, yelled at me.
"I'm terribly sorry. There's a sick person on the train who collapsed, and I was running late because I was helping her."
I told him what happened, but Andrew did not believe me.
Bullshit! Ask them. Do you have no proof, even if you claim to be such a good guy? Kind of good question. I know the train was late because you'd have proof of the delay. However, there is no way to know whether you were assisting someone or not. But you damn per chime.
Of course is. I don't have any proof.
I thought so. Only a middle school dropout like you would tell such an obvious lie. You don't think much, do you?
Just with that, Andrew started cursing me.
And why he could come up with such a lie? Think then you're out here a hero because you say you help people? There's Joan Tsudakai like you. I wonder why you don't get that.
True, I only went to middle school before getting a job at a factory. Then, 3 years ago, I joined this company. According to Andrew, who graduated from a prestigious university. I'm just a loser. But I didn't finish high school due to my home situation. I couldn't accept that I had helped someone and then been mocked for it. I don't mind my job because it's gratifying, but I hated Andrew always looked down on me like this. And I had to deal with more than simply arrogance and sarcasm. He also harassed me and took credit for my work, even when he knew I came to work early every morning.
I suppose you have to come in early because you are incapable. Are a certain mood. That's awful, isn't it? Kira-san?
He mocked me like that. It seems that he really liked to curse at people. He was the one who warned me not to be late for an important meeting that day. But it was insane of him to disrupt the meeting and abuse me. All the other staff were silently watching the situation. At XCC OSES, even still, being dismissed in front of such a big crowd was humiliating and exceedingly uncomfortable. It made me feel as if the other employees were all looking down on me because of Andrew. Maybe they were all making fun of me behind my back. It was all Andrew's fault. Work would have been more pleasurable if Andrew hadn't been present. I always thought so. 10 days later, the company's anniversary party was held. This party appeared to be conducted every 5 years, and all employees, including the CEO, were obligated to attend. Moreover, married people were supposed to bring their partners. Some attended with their girlfriends, boyfriends, or fiancé, even if they were not married. Those with small children were allowed to bring their children as well as part of the welfare program. I'd heard that some colleagues had only come to enjoy wonderful food with their families. But because I was unmarried, I had no choice but to go alone. The roast beef tasted so good. There were so many kinds of drinks to choose from. I was satisfied because the food was wonderful and the free drinks were plentiful. The site was a hotel banquet hall, and there were high-end champagnes and wines. I was wondering what to eat next. I thought about eating pilaf. As I was taking food from the platter, I heard a voice from behind.
Bring trends.
I recognized the voice and turned to face Andrew, who I detested. He was there with his wife and daughter, who was in college. Andrew's wife and daughter were both stunning and a source of pride for him.
Thank you for always assisting my husband.
The wife bowed her head, and I nodded in return. No, it's my pleasure.
I'm sure someone like you can't even find a wife, right? On top of that, you're useless at work, and a poor average employee. Well, no way would anyone choose someone like you, Bree.
Rather than reprimanding Andrew, his wife and daughter laughed out loud when they heard his comments. I wondered if they all had the same personality. I didn't envy Andrew at all because even though his wife was gorgeous, she made fun of and mocked others. If such a woman approached me and asked me to marry her, I would decline. At that moment, I heard a woman's voice behind me.
I'm his partner. Do you have any problem with that?
I turned around and saw the woman I had saved on the train 10 days earlier. I was surprised. I didn't know what to call her since I didn't ask her name at the time, so I couldn't say anything. Then Andrew looked at her.
Excuse me, do you have a Scarlet?
Andrew seemed to know her.
Well, I'm yours, partner.
Andrew seemed surprised, but the woman called Scarlet did not answer him, but grabbed my hand and pulled it.
I need to talk to you. Do you have a minute?
We exited the dining hall and sat on a sofa in the lobby.
I'm sorry for suddenly barging in. You must have been surprised, but I couldn't help it. What he said was really bothering me, and I couldn't stand still.
She dropped her brows, as though disturbed.
Andrew called you Scarlet, right? What brought you here?
I asked her, and she smiled and said, I am the ex-wife of the CEO of this company.
We divorced 3 years ago, but now I'm involved with the company as an accountant.
Our CEO's ex-wife? I didn't know that. I had heard rumors that the CEO was divorced and single.
Are in friends of exhaustion.
I'm sorry I took the liberty of calling you my partner.
This one, P. Hey! Please save me back there. Please, thank you. Please buscaudin.
I felt better after seeing Andrew's astonished expression earlier. Thank you very much for your help the other day.
We faced each other and bowed to each other. So if you'd like to, we can attend the party as partners now.
Wait, it's Cosby, the town badge. Shocker. Is that okay with you?
Sure, if you don't mind. It's my way of thanking you for the other day. Oh, that's right. I didn't get your name yet.
My name is Theodore Miller. Groa is Shasham.
Theodore, nice to meet you then.
She stepped up and crossed her arms over mine. Then he went back to the party place. Following that, we pretended to be lovers. Andrew was saying, I can't believe that a guy like Theodore's dating an elite woman like Scarlett. I heard him talking loudly. Then, a colleague from the same section asked me, where did you meet Scarlett? I was at a loss for an answer. Then Scarlett quickly opened her mouth.
When I got sick on the train, Theodore, who happened to be in the same car, helped me out.
Rent means, or planced? Are you referring to the last time Theodore was late? So he wasn't making it up? My colleague said this while glancing at Andrew, who's a short distance away from us. Andrew appeared to have heard our conversation and looked uncomfortable.
Of course. Let me teach its birthday. Me, I wouldn't be late and make up a story to cover it up.
Wait, Theodore, were you late because of me? I didn't know that.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Then Scarlett and I talked about many things. It turned out that we both read the industry's business newspapers, so we had a lot in common. After the party, we went to an after party, just the two of us. There, we talked about each other's personal lives. I grew up in a single mother household, and my mother became ill and unable to work when I was in junior high. So, I graduated from junior high school, obtained a job, and spent a long time in poverty. When I told her this, Scarlett sympathized with me. Even though Scarlett had graduated from a top university, she never looked down on me. She praised me for my efforts and how hard I had worked. I also liked how she didn't boast about her great education or big status, but instead treated me as an equal. By the way, I was wondering if there was something wrong with your body. I'd always wondered why she collapsed on the train that day and if she was all right.
No. I just happened to be sick at the time. It wasn't a chronic illness or anything.
She responded cheerfully. I was relieved to hear that. Scarlett also told me why she divorced the CEO. She told me that the reason was the CEO's infidelity. Scarlett had gotten fed up with his repeated infidelities, and she had initiated the separation. Scarlett was granted custody of the junior high school daughter, while the CEO was granted custody of the high school son. Her daughter said she was going to stay at a friend's house today and did not come to the party. I can't believe he'd cheat on you when you're so beautiful. If I were him, I swear I would never do something like that. I let my drunken momentum get the better of me and said something like that, but I meant it. She was smiling happily. After that day, Scarlett and I began to see each other frequently. The CEO afterwards discovered that Andrew had made fun of my being single during the party. I heard the CEO was enraged with Andrew. The CEO was divorced and single. In truth, he was a junior high school graduate who had launched his own business. The president heard about Andrew's terrible comments and was furious. I'm not sure if it was related to that, but Andrew was demoted to a regional branch office. The branch manager was notorious for his strictness, so I assume Andrew is suffering there now. As a result, my section became a really comfortable environment where no one looked down on me or harassed me. Since then, I had been wondering what the CEO would say if he found out I was with Scarlett at the party. I was nervous. But the other day when we passed each other, "Hey, take care of Scarlett, okay?" He tapped me on the shoulder. I was impressed by the big heart of the CEO. 6 months later, I plucked up the guts to tell Scarlett that I wanted to be in a formal relationship with her. She readily agreed. She also introduced me to her junior high school daughter, a really honest and cheerful, nice girl. And she agreed to support our relationship. I never thought I would be able to date such a wonderful woman at my age. I am thinking of proposing to her next year. Yet until I met her, I'd given up on marriage and having children. But now we might be able to have both a great wife and a cute daughter. How fortunate I am. I thought as I fantasized about marriage. First of all, I want to spend a wonderful time with Scarlett and deepen our relationship.